Alrighty, y'all, it's been a while again. We're taking a look at some American slop posted on the internet by idiots and or trolls. Gonna want to buckle up for this one. You can see the headliner there. We have the most popular car in Europe versus the most popular car in the U.S. Okay, we have a small hatchback. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. Of course, an F-150 behind it in the U.S. as the best-selling vehicle. It's time to restrict the max size and weight of cars, they say. And here's where it gets fun. You can see the difference there. Europe can keep their hands out of America, or we can have another freedom match, the troll says. The casual desire for totalitarianism. Excuse me. No thanks. I'll take my freedom. You know, after all this time and the rough patches we have been through and are still going through in the good old U.S., hearing I'll take my freedom and we have the most freedom and blah, blah, blah. I tell you what, as an American, it's gotten pretty tiring. Yes, we have rights and amendments. And yes, there is some sense of certain freedoms here. But to say we just have the biggest and best all-around freedom ever, every other month seems like more and more of a stretch. Remember, all this freedom in this country, this is the same country that can't balance a budget, but expects you to pay your taxes to the cent. Otherwise, they'll garnish your wages. The same country that will make you pay property tax and registration on your cars for the rest of your life, even if you own them outright. This is the place where if you cross the street when there's no one coming, right? If you happen to be walking, no cars coming, okay, let me cross the street. You can get arrested for jaywalking if you meet a bad cop on a bad day. It's funny how many aspects of American culture can be reduced to a dick measuring contest. Big cars, big guns, big debts. I like how they threw that in there. Everything has to be big for them. That is true, especially the debt part. Now, this one I found quite amusing. Unlike Europe, we have money to spend on cars, the American says. Europe is twice as dense, LMAO, and unlike Europe, we have money to spend on cars. Car is better than a bus. The European cleverly rebuttals freedom not having choices, right? My car is my freedom, no waiting on a bus. I can go wherever, whenever. I get to set my AC to whatever I want. So yeah, having a car is freedom, right? Yeah, it's your way, your AC, your pace. I agree with that. But technically, I would say transportation-wise, Europeans might have the upper hand when it comes to freedom because they do have the freedom of choice. They have much more choices in train transportation, bus transportation, cheaper and, kind of quicker airfare, taxis, Ubers, cars, right? Last time I checked, when I follow a lot of, car media, motorsports, I'd say cars and car ownership is still pretty relevant in Europe as well. Something tells me they can afford cars. This comment sums it up pretty nicely. And unlike Europe, we're forced to drive because as well as poor public transportation, there's all space for pedestrians. We have a choice in what we drive, either an oversized truck or an oversized truck or an oversized SUV. God bless our freedom to choose what level the AC is on. I wonder how much freedom they have when they get stuck in a traffic jam. Yes, this is a harsh truth. I suspect this American fellow would be rather surprised at the cars I own and the fact that I commute to work with a tram bus. Truly, the American mind cannot comprehend. This one's a fun nod to a video that went pretty viral I did a month or two ago about Europeans not buying our American cars. Why are Europeans not buying our cars? Yeah, we've seen this picture before. This could be one reason why. I mean, yeah, American cars aren't that big. That, of course, is a pickup truck, but it reigns true. This is pretty good. It's pretty funny. Now, this one I'm throwing in there. It's not really like crazy stuff Americans have said or, us defaultism. It's kind of random, but funny at the same time. Giant U.S. companies are rushing to Europe to borrow money. A record reverse Yankee issuance. U.S. companies have sold a record amount of euro bonds so far this year. And you can see the years here, right? These are years, 2000, 2010. You get the picture. Wow, right? Wow. They went up a lot last year, and they're through the roof this year. Ironically, all these events may lead to increased exports for the U.S., the dollar's finally devaluing and making U.S. goods cheaper for foreign imports. Yeah, this was a plan for Trump with the little side effect of killing the economy. Now, if this doesn't sum up the American mindset on sports, I don't know what does. Are you ready for this? I told you should have been buckled up. This is hilarious. This is the number of Super Bowl wins by country. And y'all are slacking. No surprise, the dominance of the United States of America cannot be ignored. 59 Super Bowl wins by the U.S. of A. And a big fat 0 for everybody else. Y'all suck. There's the proof right there. Number of wife-carrying world championship wins by country? Do I have to look into this? Finland 11, Estonia 11, Lithuania 3, Russia 1, USA, and everyone else 0. Well, you got us beat right there. Fair play. I was checking to see if this was posted on April 1st. For obvious reasons, it actually wasn't. So either way, joke or not, this is hilarious. Take a look at this comment. This list is also wild. I'll explain that after. Top 20 most disliked or controversial leaders in 2025. We have Putin, Trump, and Xi rounding out the top 3, and then you can read the rest. But the American says, how is Trump disliked if he won the popular vote? Genius. This is kind of talking about, the Earth right there. If you see that little thing there, yeah, the Earth. Yeah, this is like a world view, right? So I don't know if they're not aware that people around the world didn't vote in our election. It's only for U.S. elections. So, yeah, he did win the popular vote. That doesn't mean that he's going to be popular worldwide. If you like Trump or you hate Trump, that's on you. Any of these guys probably won the popular vote. It doesn't mean they're going to be popular worldwide. Popular locally and popular worldwide are two different things. That might be one of the funniest, childish things I've read in a while. But also, this list kind of concerning me. How is this guy not further up on this list? Kind of lost the validity of this top 10 once I saw that. Yes, the weekly temperature patriot, Utah Brian, talking about Poland and climates, right? And, this guy just felt the need to get downvoted into oblivion because, hey, 2 degrees Celsius equals 35 Fahrenheit for people with sensible temperature units. Now, I might like Fahrenheit more than Celsius only because, well, of course, I was born and raised with it. I'm just more used to it. Although I've taken quite a liking and, embracing Celsius. I have my good old trusty temperature and humidity reader over there. And, that thing is in Celsius. I do it for fun. I mean, I get used to the reading, right? Seeing it every day. And it's a cool Easter egg for viewers to spot. And most of my viewers would probably be more used to Celsius. I can tell you one thing, even if I still like Fahrenheit better, I won't insert myself into conversations with useless, sad attempts at a diss like that. So this thing I always thought was pretty cool. I guess, to be fair, this could happen. People might not know this from the U.S. if they never traveled abroad. But just take a look. This is funny. I'm not going to go too hard on them, but it's kind of funny. Someone, clearly an American, asked, what do things normally look like in Paris? I'm on the verge of moving from the USA to Paris for 3 months. And they mentioned that each listing, right, when they're looking for places, shows that it has a fridge, but they don't know where the fridge is at according to the pictures. Well, if you look at this picture, there is a fridge. And these kitchens you do see, from what I've seen in media online, in European countries, and the fridge, I believe, is over here. It's built in. I think you would call it something like that. And it's built to look like, it matches the rest, like it's kind of fluid, right? But there is indeed a fridge there. They did not think of that, though, and they think that the listings are lying. I see it right side of the picture, and nobody outside of America can afford refrigeration. In Canada, we just bury our perishables in the snow. We also commute on snowmobiles, poop in outhouses, and light our homes with whale oil lanterns. That's right. Remember, everyone is behind the U.S. Don't forget it. Today, I learned built-in fridges are not a thing in the U.S. And that is true. I've never seen this in the U.S., although I think it is very cool because that look, right? I'm almost surprised because the U.S., like, new home trends seem to be, they always try and push the boundary and come up with the coolest new trends here in new homes, in new fancy homes, I should say. But I've never seen this, like I said. The fact that it's built in, and you see that a lot more in European countries, I think that is so cool. I'm very surprised it's never caught on here. A drill bit is worth 20,000 won. What's that in real money? You know, like USD? The USD is not a real currency anymore. What? That's why it's so much stronger than so many other currencies. Well, it is real currency, but it is not stronger than, again, the rest of the world. Stronger than other currencies, well, let's go. 1 euro is worth 1.14 USD. 1 Great Britain pound, or British pound, is worth 1.35 USD. And 1 CHF, I'm not exactly sure what that's referencing. My apologies, is worth 1.21 USD. And if you know anything about money, that means that those currencies are indeed stronger. To be fair, eggs are a stronger currency than the USD. Over 30 people a day are arrested in England for mean tweets. You better thank God for the First Amendment. Germany, too. Well, you can confirm if that's true or not. I hope not, and I'm willing to bet it's probably not true. But some good comebacks in the comments. People got to jail for not cutting their grass in the good old land of the free. Of course, referencing HOAs. This is not too far from the truth, honestly. I mean, I don't know how many people really go to jail, but you can certainly get fined, and, you know, the HOA thing is just atrocious. That's not, of course, all neighborhoods, but, man, if you do live in one, you better watch out because you do something wrong, and it could be any arbitrary, weird little thing. Yeah, you got fines coming. You got no perks coming ever again. You're screwed. Crossing the road or bouncing a check. Thank you. I always do the crossing the road one because I think it's so funny in the land of the free that if you cross the road when there's no one coming, but you're not in the right desired area and you didn't wait until the little sign turned, the guy showing a walk, yeah, you're a terrible person. You're definitely getting in trouble. All right, we're going to end it on this one. This one is pretty crazy. If you don't understand that the tipping culture here is out of hand and eating out in the U.S. is pretty much cooked at this point. Cooked in the sense that it's screwed. We have the bottom of this menu of a place I'll make sure I never visit. The 18% CHP fee. CHP meaning creating happy people. Fee will be added to the check. It's not a tips for servers. It's your support to back and front team behind your experience. Cooks, dishwashers, bussers, food runners, hostess, cleaners. Additional tips for your server are very appreciated. So here's your check, your overpriced drinks, your overpriced beer. Don't forget to tip 20, preferably 25% to your server and pay the 18% CHP fee. Welcome to dining out in a horrible quality restaurant in the U.S. You're going to enjoy it. I'd create a very happy people, myself and my family, by not going there. Right, so they might as well raise the prices by 18%, drop that silliness, and pay the staff better? That's what you'd think. Or this is like not having the tax shown on the prices in stores. People might think the prices are too high if they did that. I couldn't agree more, man. You're speaking my language. And the final comment, this is everything wrong with dining out or really buying anything in the U.S. Hi, this meal costs $19. Oh, that's nice. And there's a 7% sales charge. Oh, how much is that then? What do I care? You do the math yourself. Calculates in head. And there is a 17.8% happy employee service charge that is applied before sales tax, naturally. Oh, okay. Yeah, starts calculating again. And the servers are working on tips here, so you shouldn't tip maybe 21% or better 24% of your bill if you ever want to eat here again after sales tax, naturally. Why can't the U.S. be normal and say the price I actually have to pay in the menu or the side of the shelf like every other civilized country on the planet? Oh, those were good. This is a pretty entertaining episode. I hope you enjoyed. It's been a little while since I did that, and boy, these do not disappoint. We didn't even really get into U.S. defaultism there. Mostly just crazy stuff that Americans are saying on the interwebs. Big surprise. Hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you watching. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.